objectives. The questions are at 6.2.11. The heading is, have environmental objectives been set for the operation as required by the actions identified in section 614, including the protection of the environment, prevention of pollution, sustainable resource use, and or protection of biodiversity and ecosystems. So have those been included in your if we go back to 614, it will tell you, how's the operation planned to implement these actions in your EMS process?
We are not like the other big corporates with 600 documents for the same thing, so that environmental audit has an outcome.
Okay.
And that becomes the mine manager's objective.
Okay, so you've put it all into, you've sort of put it into a compact document.
That document presented with the risk.
Yes.
So the risk-based knows red, I must action first, yellow second, green.
So that's basically, it's a risk assessment plus the action plan and the implementation plan. Okay, that's cool. All right. Engaging stakeholders, training, we've got, that's there. Okay, that's great. The objectives, are your objectives consistent with your policies? The two match, they love each other.
The pollution, the legal compliance,
Energy, you have to buy Letitia lunch. Just how have you determined how you're going to achieve these objectives? Is there a plan for it? Is there, or is it?
So how are you going to close the gap in vegetation? That's the question.
There should be somewhere.
Yeah, there should be, or is there? Because you've identified it already. So how are you going to do that?
Like the one, I asked for air to come in and buy all the plants so that we know which plants we need to do. And that was we put like more money.
Okay.
I have to put him in the spot.
You had to put him on the spot there. Okay. But I think, you know, let's use the action plan and your document as the as how to determine that. That's great. It's there. Necessary resources, financial, equipment, labor being allocated. Equipment, labor, you've got financial. So have these objectives been communicated with the person appointed as responsible for the completion of each objective? So that's you. So obviously, we use that. That's right. Are those objectives reviewed periodically?
Every year when the audit takes place.
Okay.
So the external person will then check how far in progress.
Okay. You have a rehabilitation plan available? You will in your EP, you'll have something there, but have you got a plan? There'll be provision, you've made provision, financial provision. Look, it's highly unlikely you've got that because you've just started this operation. But it's something you must have, even if it's, you know, for a 20-year thing, you must have some form of rehab plan. It's something you guys also have to have, to do. Yeah. All right, Letitia's favorite one. You asked for this. Does the site have a current approved social labor plan?
Just list Esther. We should approve put it in a box.
Okay, I know you do.
And it is something.
Okay. And an implementation plan for that SLP. Because that's actually one of the big failings the guys have. They have an SLP, it's put in the drawer, and nothing ever happens. And then they get audited and they get hammered.
It's the keeps them on their toes.
Yeah. And it's not an easy thing in SLP, it's a difficult thing. You also have SLPs.
And the main thing is, if you see you're not going to make your commitment,
yeah, get that section 102, you know, say to them. Because when they come in there, they hammer you. All right, there you've got an 88. The one or two big scorers that you lost, the one was the rehab plan, but it's easy to fix, you know, it's not a... Remember with those sort of plans, Leonard, don't get complicated. A simple plan, guys. It's all you need is to say, when we finish that, this is what we're going to do. When we finish that, that's what we're going to do. Done, you know, and you've got the financial provision. The guys tend to get, especially consultants, they tend to get very complicated. And it's a thick document and it makes no sense. Right, let's move on to the next one, which is second last one, then we're done, and then we're going to do the site walkabout, which is great. Okay, evaluation. Now, a lot of these we've spoken about, you've told us. You do have an air quality monitoring program.
Yes,
you do check that. You're using a accredited test house. Done on a monthly basis. These are all things. You see how your manager's presentation answers these things, eh? Because now you showed the auditor, and it actually just makes it so much simpler. They answer half the questions because you've done it already. Referencing the correct. It's all going there. You've got sites. There. Your dust monitoring, what you must please do in the next, for future presentations, is to have the historical data there as well. You do have that on the reports that you're getting, so just include that. It just gives a you know, so that there's a benchmark and you can see what's going on. The MET data, the meteorological data, wind, rain must be included in your sampling things. Temperatures, very particular here in this area. Do you send those to EEC? You do. Okay. Yeah, with a whirling hygrometer. Okay.
And we put the weather station there.
Okay, so you've got all your MET data, which is fabulous. That's great, because it makes quite a difference, eh?
I think just one thing we also need to add on the presentation is the windows and the wind direction.
Yeah.
Especially for community.
Yeah, yeah. Where's your? You know, I got a dust fallout report, and it was wrong because they had taken the wind direction from the wrong place. I said, no, it doesn't come from there. Yes, it does, because of someone. I said, let me show you. And we could identify why we were high in a specific area, because the wind was coming and going over the dust bucket. So it gives you a mitigation of why it's high. All right. Okay. All right. Then this is an old question, and I actually want to discuss this, Letitia. 91115. Hello, comes in there. Yeah, I'll bring it there. Thanks. Just put it there. It's lunch. Air quality monitoring reports to be submitted to the manager within 2 weeks of the sample period. Now, it's not going to happen. I know. So I really want us, and I marked that 2 weeks. We need to come up with a time period which is acceptable to everybody. Maybe a month. We won't get them in 2 weeks. You're lucky if you get them in a month. And so it's unfair to penalize the guys, the site people, if the service provider is not giving it to us.
We clearly must be in 2 months.
The problem comes in, Leonard, the problem comes in with this, and this is what we're going to have to, as an industry, talk to these guys. But the problem comes in, if you get it 2 months later, what can you do about it? Then it's useless. Then why are we doing it? You understand? So that's why this question is a bit tricky. So give it some thought. I'm going to mark this as a not applicable, and let's give it some thought before we put the final document together.
It's easy to have an internal person doing it.
Yeah, but
the big ones, but not.
Yeah, if you've got accredited internal and accredited lab, but we don't have those luxury versions. Okay, so this we must just, I'm going to say to be reviewed by the committee. Right. Okay, those air quality reports, does Larry discuss it with you? Never. He doesn't even know what's in there. Okay? Are you sure he discusses them with you? I've told Larry that, don't worry. Okay. Then the effective corrective action. When you get your dust reports, your corrective actions, what do you do?
Why do we have
Yeah.
And our children have to be the why.
Okay.
And if ever they are facts, then I will find it.
Okay. Okay. You do submit to NAIS. You are registered. That's right. You've done the perimeter noise thing. You've told us that. Your noise survey is conducted every 2 years, or when operational requirements. Okay. Noise survey is conducted by who? Larry. Larry. Our friend Larry. I don't know Larry, actually. He's a good guy. Correct legislation, I know that. You see, if you look at that question now, 911113, you've answered it already because you had your GPS points on your presentation. Well, appropriate.
Want to be funny, even walk us down on the birthday because it's not at our new operation.
No, but no, you've got to be realistic with it and say, listen, what's going on there.
And then
again, now question 911, question 16, you address that already. Okay, calibration certificates. You've got those. Okay, the next one is not applicable because you don't work at night. Again, number 20 you've addressed already. And 21. Okay. Here's the stinger.
not that I know.
Complaint. Has she got a complaint box outside?
Okay, now we score. Now this is also something which I want to discuss with you, Letitia. The question here, and it's been rewritten. Have any complaints been recorded in the site complaints register? Yes, you get 10 points. No, you get nothing.
I can quickly put one.
Yeah, but be careful what you do now. Relating to blasting.
Why only glass?
Because it's something people hide. Guys are not talking about it. And I can
compromise, say yes, there's no noises in the area.
now. I want to discuss this with us. I mean, this is something we need to talk about. Because if a guy says to me no, the chances are he's talking rubbish. There is a chance, okay? But if he says yes, then okay, what have you done about it? So the questions, the yes, we've got to look at this and see how we're going to get it right.
I think we had complaints in the beginning before you were done.
Yeah.
But it's not registered.
It's a CRM command.
Yeah.
It was way back.
But I'm looking at it from the audit document, not here specifically. I'm looking at it generally now, and I want some input. Nico, maybe, we can't penalize people if they've done their blasting well, and the guy's honestly said, no, I haven't had anything, so no, he gets not.
There are mines that doesn't have people close by.
Yes, that's why I say the scoring on this thing, we need to be careful what we do on it.
And then if the guy says yes, I want to penalize you.
No. If he says yes, he's recording it. Okay, it's good. Then from there it says, okay, what have you done? Have you sorted it out? Blah blah
So
blah.
you only get the points if you recorded it and done something about it. But if you didn't record it, then you don't get the points.
If it didn't happen,
So if there's nothing on site on record, but if there's no complaint, you can't have something if there's no complaint.
then they're going to hide it from you. They're going to.
You see, let's think about this one. I'll send you this. You'll see the document and the questions that come from there.
Maybe it should say, have you had any complaints?
It's exactly what it says.
And then you go.
Okay, so the guy says no, so we give him full marks, but he's lying to us. And it happens. It's like on the safety side. Have you had any incidents? No. No. Then you walk out there and the guy's walking there and he's only got half a leg and this one's got a bandage. You say, well, what happened to you? I know, we got hurt here, but there's nothing on this side. It's just it's a ticklish one. I'm not going to mark these ones. I'm going to make them not applicable because we need to just put our heads together and talk about it. Or take it out, or do something there. Okay. If you can give it some thought.
Should it be an environmental? Should it not? Is it not a health and safety thing? I'm just asking.
No, it's an environmental one, this one, yeah.
Rocks in my house.
It's environmental because it's an exposure from the dust.
Yeah. And the vibrations and noise. So, it's one of those that does, it's a bit of a gray area. Anyway, give it some thought and then we can finalize that.
Maybe it should be if there's residents within a certain kilometre radius. Any communities, because then the question is applicable. If you say no, then it's harsh scoring. But if you're in an open area like
but
this,
look, I mean, there's certain operations, there are a lot of operations that guys are doing good blasting that thing. I mean, no one's being affected. So now you penalize them because they haven't got a complaint. Is it fair? No. Okay. But then you go to a place where you know there will be a complaint and you say, look, have you had a complaint? He says no. So he gets full marks, but he's had them. We know he's had them. I mean, we've been in this business long enough. So that's why I raised that one. Okay, let's not stick on that. Let's move on. Water monitoring, it's 9.112. You there? Okay. Are quantities of water abstracted or discharged recorded? You sure? You didn't look very convincing on that shit. Normally you say yes. Okay. Are the quantities utilized for dust suppression report? So do you know how much?
Yeah, it does have a sheet where it goes.
Okay. You don't have a general authorization. Do you compare your volumes with what you allowed with your Fuller?
Yeah.
You do.
We suppose industrial institutes.
Okay.
a day.
Okay. How many liters is that?
Not as liters. I mean,
How many liters? It's 26 cubes.
26 cubes a day.
How many liters is it?
26,000.
26,000 exactly. Yeah.
So you have one ship of this type.
Okay. 2.5 is, does the operation monitor water quality on and immediately off the site at all applicable sources? You have got your test points in place. I would suggest, just from covering yourself, is to put an additional one in adjacent to your operation, because you've got one above, one below, which you showed us. One more in. Okay. It just gives you more information to defend yourself. Remember, that's what this is all about. Eh? Water quality, is it monitored by a specialist? Yeah, it is in Komati. Eh? They do the testing. Who's taking the samples? Leonard, who does your sampling?
Sandy did the standard.
From? So it is a specialist.
Yeah.
Do you monitor the appropriate chemical components? And there you can't say yes, because you don't know what's in your pit water. You know that it's not good, but you're not quite right there. So have a look at that one.
What the water uses mentions, there are no parameters there, is it? pH,
I think you've got the pH, but that was not on the pit water. He just said it's not compliant. You need to.
The approved ruler parameters say pH, total dissolved solids, electrical conductivity, fluoride, calcium, magnesium, sodium, nitrate.
So your water testing should have those things there.
But else that
Is it?
we test all of those. They listed it on the presentation as well.
Okay. All right. No, that's cool. That's cool. That's cool. Sorry, my misunderstanding there. The report includes verification of the laboratory. It is an accredited laboratory. Yeah. Okay, this question at number 10, it says, does the water quality on site meet with the requirements of the water use authorization? So your VULA quality, are you compliant there? Not in the pit. So half mark. So cool. Okay, then we go to waste. You've seen, we've spoken about this already. You do have a waste inventory. Then other resource consumption. Does the operation monitor and report on the consumption of electrical power? You do. Amount of diesel and diesel oil? You do. There is actually a question about that as well. Yeah. Monitoring against your performance. Okay. On your performance assessment, question is there proof of submission of the operation's latest performance assessment to the DMR within the prescribed period? You do that. I know you do that. Have you got proof of submission? Like the stamp you showed us just now. Because that's a big mark. Okay, we're going to carry on while you're looking for that. The latest performance assessment, your outcome, was it fair, good, or excellent? It'll give you a summary at the end there. It probably says.
implement.
One of the
There's you can ask me. Let me just pass on.
Yeah, sure.
so the outcome. So
Yeah, the outcome. Should be in the end there. There's normally an outcome of which.
show significant improvement.
It should be a rating there. Yeah.
We work on risk pricing.
Yeah. Normally that report, what they say is that it's a fair or good or, improved, well
Just
improved.
says there, significant improvement.
Okay, all right, that's great. Two, proof of submission still stuck there. Okay, Leonard, the findings of the latest EMP performance assessment, that one that you've got, there must have been things there that included non-conformances. Yeah. Okay. Those have they been actioned with responsibilities and due dates? You've addressed that. Okay. That's great. Okay. Okay. Has the operation communicated its relevant environmental performance information both internally and externally? In other words, have you put it onto your website and have you communicated it internally?
Yes.
Yes. Okay. Is your things on the website, Letitia? Do you put those? Not yet. Okay. That's going to become a requirement.
We handed out on the face.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. No, that's fine. I'm going to just put a comment in here that you must look at putting it on your website. New requires. Your compliance, has it been evaluated according to your time frame? It's 9123. 9122, sorry, not 3. I think you pretty much demonstrated that you are doing that. It's might be a little bit weak, but have a look at that one, okay? All right, then this is a new one, the 9123. Has a legal compliance audit been conducted for the operation by a competent person? No. Right. Now, the new legal compliance audits are going to be very, very complicated. They're difficult, they're expensive, and there are very few competent people available. I'm just giving you this information. It's going to affect you guys as well, big time, eh? There are very few people that are competent in that specific field as the legal compliance. So it's something we need to have a look at, okay?
Anthony will not be able to afford it in Houston. At the cost of
I
a
know.
legal stuff.
I know.
We're going to find it like we did with the independent external person. We conduct the audit and they verify it. We just find them for them.
The problem with the thing, and I was talking to Charlene about it, is it's essentially an EMPR. It's going to cost you probably 250,000 Rand a pop to do this. And it's just not, it's not sustainable. You can't do it. None of us can.
With that other law coming, where they want the independent auditing the independent.
Yeah. No, it's crazy.
It's like double
yeah.
specialists.
Yeah. And a specialist is someone who's got financial qualification, environmental qualification, industry knowledge. I mean, it's a list. It just goes on and on and on and on. And then they've got to be accredited with the department as well. So, guys, it's not something that's good. Okay.
I think it's one of those, one of the 5 human proposal with ASPASA.
Yeah.
Mencosa has an environmental.
It's going to need to be addressed. It's not fun. Okay. Are environmental inspections regularly conducted at the operation to cover liquid chemical storage, waste handling and disposal, oil separators, stormwater drainage systems and other facilities?
For the internal sheet
okay.
audit, which includes those.
Are checklists used on those?
Yeah.
Are they signed off by management or the environmental responsible person, which is you? You do your checklist, you do that. Are they available for inspection? Are on-site contractors included in environmental inspections or drilling guys?
Yeah.
Remember, I use the same ones. It's nice doing this one. Are inspections conducted by responsible persons in their areas on a weekly basis? It's 1/6. How often do you do your environmental inspections? Probably not weekly. I very much doubt so.
It's monthly with the chief and then quarterly with
okay.
the management. Weekly is a bit rough, man.
Yeah, we can look at that one. Eh? Are inspections conducted by the environmental responsible person on the entire operation on a quarterly basis? You've just told me. Is there proof that actions identified in the previous audits have been actioned? A bit behind. Okay. The internal audit program. Does the operation have a procedure to conduct and guide its internal audit program? You do that. You've told us that before. That's there. Has it been subjected to management level environmental audits, which include a physical and review of monitoring results? Retained your documented information that demonstrates the audits were implemented? Have you got proof of those audits? There's a hesitation. Okay, I'll take your word for it. Did the most recent internal auditor consider the environmentally important aspects and impacts of the processes concerned? You actually showed us that in your presentation. So yes, that was done. Changes affecting the organization, you showed us that as well. The result of previous audits, no. And the result of its monitoring, measurement, and analysis, yes. In the most recent internal audit, now you've got to be very honest. Were the auditors objective and impartial, and were the audits conducted so that objectivity and impartiality in the audit process were ensured?
I don't like them.
Okay, that's good. That's a good answer.
Straightforward.
Yeah, no, listen,
Because he's
straight down the line. Yeah. Okay, were the audit results reported to the relevant management? So it came to you, you showed us that actually. Were there? Were site contractors included in that audit? I would assume Tali would have done that. Okay, that's not applicable. That point, the 8 is not applicable because you don't have other ones here. Come on, get the in. Right, the management review. We're nearly finished, guys, on this one. Does the operation have a written procedure for conducting the environmental management system management reviews? Okay. The status of the actions, did the agenda and the minutes of the most recent management review include the following topics? Status of actions from previous management reviews. In other words, have all the things, the findings being closed on previous ones? Or were there previous ones that are outstanding actions there? Maybe, maybe not. Okay. There. Changes in operations, risks and opportunities, including their significant environmental aspects. You've done that with the new plant that you put up there. Opportunities for continual improvement, were those identified? You have spoken about a couple of things. So I think you have identified them. For example, your alien vegetation was one, the water thing was one, so I'm happy with that. That's there. That's there. Okay. Environmental performance over the period of review, including trends in its non-conformities and corrective actions. So you did show us those. Monitoring and measurement results, you showed us those. Fulfillment of compliance obligations that you showed us. And audit results you haven't showed us. You've spoken about them. But the performance assessment you did show us.
Yes. I know why the percentage was removed. Top management asked me, senior MDs, they want to see this price, that we changed it to red, yellow, and they don't want to see 50%.
Yeah.
That means nothing to them.
Yeah.
But I see what you mean for this. We need to show that we improved from 50% to 60%.
Yeah.
So now you can put those percentages.
But what you can do, no, what you can do is you can change, you can show the thing. If it was a lot of yellow, now it turns to orange or to green. It's just to show that there's a measure somewhere. So, do it on keep it on your risk base. Don't change your.
But what I will do is the risk base to say that the rates was 5% of the audit, now it's 2%.
Yeah. Or even a number. You can say there were 20 reds and now there's only 10. Great. There's a measure, there's something there. Okay, no, that's perfect. Did the minutes of the most recent management review describe the following outputs? Conclusions on the continuing suitability, adequacy, and effectiveness of the EMS. The management review meeting. Be quiet. Okay. Decisions related to any changes to the EMS that are needed, including resources and or changes to the environmental policy or requirements for extra resources. Was that noted in the management review, or was it not applicable at this stage?
It's not me.
Okay. Are there actions that may be needed if environmental objectives have not been achieved? There are actions, you have identified those. Opportunities to improve the integration of the EMS with other business processes. So you have been able to do that because you've just redone your whole system with the new plant. So you would have put a change management and review there. So your opportunities to improve things were your stormwater management, alien vegetation, your measurement, your appointments, there are a couple of appointments there, your documentation. Yes. Okay, are the EMS management reviews attended by the following persons as applicable to the operation? The quarry manager, the area manager, or operations manager of the area. The GM? Isn't Anton the GM? So that doesn't happen. Okay. And a director or an exco member.
And I get the report of
So they don't attend the meeting.
GM and
Yeah. Okay. All right. So at the end of that section, at the 87.5, which
I just want to backtrack a bit.
yes.
That we sit quarterly with the CEO and the GMs where I give feedback on the whole group's report, environmental report.
Yeah.
They sit in that meeting, so it's not happening here at this side. For
Okay. Then we must maybe look at rewording that question to say, are they involved at some stage? Because the question is very specific. It says in the management review.
So
I hear what you're saying.
Feedback on where we are environment based.
Okay, that's cool. So those two would be there as well. I'm going to put the comment in here. It's group feedback of results. Okay. So nice score there, 89. 89.6. Okay, then the last section here, it's quite a quick one. It's improvement, non-conformity and corrective actions. Does the operation have a written environmental non-conformity or incident procedure for handling all types of environmental non-conformities or incidents? I would be surprised if you didn't have that. Were all non-conformities incidents identified in any environmental inspection, internal or external audit, management review, or applicable comment or complaint? Conformity or incident treated in accordance with that procedure. So the question is, you've got the procedure. Did you have any complaints, incidents, environmental complaints, etc., or incidents? You must have had something. You've had stormwater damages. You've had, guarantee you've had a hydraulic pipe burst on something. So you've had the incidents. How were those reported, or how were those handled?
We usually even take pictures.
Yeah.
Of where we do the effect one, and if it is oil spill, when we clean up and after one.
Okay. Okay, that's what we're looking for. There's the thing. Leonard, read that document. That's what you'd be looking for there. Yeah. Okay. How many environmental non-conformities or incidents have been recorded over the past year? Trick question. So, tell me, how many have you had recorded? How many pipes have burst? How many washaways have you had? How many?
I can get it, but I don't. I mean, there's like a number.
Is it naught? Is it 3? Is it 4 or more? Give me a number, guys.
There's 4 in this.
There's 4 in there. Yeah,
But that's a snapshot of that.
okay. That's fine. Why I said it's a trick question. If you say none, you get more. Because you're talking rubbish. We know that. Okay. If you say 3, you get 2. And if you say 4 or more, you get 4 points. Okay. That's why Letitia said 4.
I'm being honest.
I know.
Objective evidence is next.
Yeah, no, sure. Are standard incident forms utilized for the reporting of environmental non-conformities? Oh, it's online. Most people are doing online, or a lot of people are doing online things. Is a competent person designated to conduct the non-conformity or incident investigation? So there is a competent person there. Okay. Does the investigation identify the cause of the non-conformity? Does the investigation include the formulation of positive recommendations? Is it signed off on finalization of that report? Is it signed off by the manager or she committee person, chairperson? You sign it off. Brilliant. Are all environmental non-conformities and incidents analyzed to identify the possible common cause or trend? So, for example, if you're having a lot of hydraulic pipes bursting, are you guys analyzing to see, is it maybe due to bad quality pipes or lack of maintenance or something like it? Not. Okay. For all non-conformances or incidents, does the documentation indicate the actions taken to control or to correct? Where actions are required following a non-conformity, is there evidence as documented information that these have been implemented? So have you closed the loop? Have you basically said on your incident report, this is what has been done and signed off? You've investigated, you reported it, you had the investigation, the actions, is it closed off? Is the question. It's that circle you want to just close your circle. You would assume you should know on that document. It should be the actions should be written there. Not yes. Guys want to help out? On the incidents, Letitia, you report the incidents on your document, you do the investigation, you have the actions to clean up or fix up. Is that loop closed?
Not always.
Not always. Okay. Yeah.
We're not perfect.
No, look, it's you've got most of the things in there, but you just need to that last little zippy there. Okay, that's there. Are all those incidents communicated and discussed with persons working under the operations control? So do you discuss it in your health and safety meetings, your green area meetings, that sort of thing? Do you ever hear, do you guys share internally things from other
Every week we have we call it a sheet ETR.
Okay.
And they share. But not every single oil spill.
No. I don't expect that. Is any disciplinary action taken against employees or contractors who do not conform to the rules, environmental procedures, and the requirements of the EMS or approved EMP?
There I can say with confidence, out of the 34 disciplinaries, more than 70% came from ACL.
Really?
Not that they don't,
Yeah.
got bad people, but they
They're sticking to the rules. Okay, that's fantastic. Are those environmental non-conformities, have they been completed within 1 year? As we're nearly done on this section here. In fact, there's a few questions there. Okay. Where the operation has identified opportunities to improve its EMS and or its environmental performance, has the operation planned for these opportunities?
There was no wash bay, there was no welfare,
Yeah.
there was no office.
This is a fantastic site to actually get all these things. You can really score nicely. Implemented the opportunities, you have reviewed the impacts. Has the operation calculated its CO2 footprint? You were bragging, Letitia. Do show us.
Where's your network? You're going to be patient with my slow game.
Be gentle with you, is that what you're saying? Sien nog wakker, Robert? Yes. Nee, jy weet kwaad jy. Hy het laat gaan slaap. Baie goed praat. Gaan nou stap. Ja, nee, ons gaan sy toe. Gaan loop. We put ahead, but I think so, and then we can go. We scored a little bit of time here, which is good.
There's our total CO2
Okay.
specifically at
Is that specifically here?
specifically for here. Just go to the folder to show you that specifically the environment.
Yes. Okay.
So it gives you your total affluent carbon footprint for. I should actually change that.
Yeah.
And then it also does a comparison. It's only affluent contacting. So if I choose the whole of affluent, so it gives you your mobile combustion and your stationary combustion. You can even, if we ever get to the carbon tax, you can even work out the carbon tax is raised.
Yeah. So you've actually got exactly what you need there. Like things there. Yeah.
So this was, and I must say, this was all Tali's brainchild.
Yeah.
Instead of emails.
Okay, that's it for the online one. Well done, guys. A bit scary, eh? If you, listen, the things that are not there are so easy to fix. There's really nothing that's major. So your total scorecard is 88.6 for the first time round, and what we're looking at, I think very much a realistic look at the compliance side. Okay.
I just wanted to say that the proof of the delivery was sent to Kata's lab, and Tali's archive in IT was the things.
Yeah, that's fine. That's fine. So your high scorers, it's quite interesting actually. It's very interesting. Your highest is 89.14, no 89.66, and the lowest is 87.5. So there's a very small. There's nothing that sort of jumps out, which I think is great. It covers leadership, actions, risks, objectives, performance evaluation, improvement. So those 5 headings, guys, well done. Eh? you know, I think we've come a long way in this one, because we've redesigned this document with the industry guys, Letitia being part of it as well, specifically to find out where these gaps and things are, so that we protect the sites.
But that score sounds relevant to what we.
Yeah.
It's not like 98.
It's not that 98 and 99. It's you know, that to me was unrealistic. But I think this is a good score. You've got your things. The key here, which answered a huge amount of the things, was your manager's presentation. And I would honestly, yeah, it has a huge impact on this, not just on the presentation scoring, but all the way through. You know, you answer the questions positively, and it makes it a lot easier. It also just shows your commitment and what you're looking for. So well done on that. I think it's really awesome. Awesome, yeah. Yeah, I think we can break for lunch, and then we'll continue. So everyone who's online, folks, we're going to break for lunch now, and then we're going to go and do a walk around, and I would guesstimate we should probably be back online at about 12:30, which we could do the rest of the audit. So if you want to dial in back at about 12:30, we'd look forward to seeing you then. All right. Thanks. We're going to break for lunch. Thanks, everybody.